Hello and welcome to another video. This one is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to tell you a bit of a backstory and then we'll finish off with a little bit of art as usual. So basically I've lived all my life in West Yorkshire, and particularly I've lived about 5 minutes drive away from Haworth. Now Haworth is the home, or was the home, of the Bronte sisters. Now if some of you don't know, the Bronte sisters were famous poets and novelists. They were the combination of Anne, Charlotte and Emily, and they wrote famous works such as Agnes Grey, Jane Eyre, The Tenant of Wildfell Hall and The Wuthering Heights. Now The Wuthering Heights is what this video is predominantly about, and so recently I revisited the Bronte Parsonage Museum in Haworth. And this museum is very diverse, it's constantly changing with different displays etc. about the Bronte sisters. Now recently the BBC did a little documentary drama sort of thing, film on the Bronte sisters and their brother Branwell. Now it's a new take on the Bronte sisters. I don't know whether it's recently, found knowledge about him or whether it's just a new way of portraying the Bronte family. But basically the film used a lot of props and really detailed made costumes, and so these costumes and props were put into the Bronte Parsonage as new displays. So it was really interesting to see more lifelike sort of kind of just aspects of their lives, which was really cool. And one thing that was happening at the Bronte Parsonage Museum whilst we were there was a new manuscript writing of the Wuthering Heights. Now the Wuthering Heights original manuscript they don't have it. I don't know whether it's lost or they just can't find it or what's going on with that, but basically they wanted to get the public involved, and therefore whenever anyone visited, I don't know how long it's been going on for, but it is continuing for the rest of the year, you can write a line of the Wuthering Heights in a brand new manuscript, and this manuscript will be going on display next year. They said it is being filled up very quickly, but it was an incredible kind of experience in a way to sit at the writing desk of their father, if I remember rightly, and write this manuscript and sign your name in a separate manuscript to say that you have done this. And it was really cool, and we got to write using this kind of black pencil, black from head to toe including the rubber, and on the side of it says Wuthering Heights, a manuscript. So we got that free, which is really cool, and it really inspired me. And so after we finished looking around the museum, I went to the shop and purchased this kind of just a simple, cheap, it wasn't the more expensive ones, calligraphy set which comes with different nibs, and I wanted to produce a little bit of art relating to the Bronte family, which you will see shortly. So if anyone is in the West Yorkshire area or Haworth area, I really would recommend a visit to the Bronte Parsonage. It is very cool, and it's just cool to see where they sat writing these novels and famous works that we read today. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video and enjoy the art. So yeah, thank you very much. First things first, I just want to apologise for the quality of every single part of this video. Basically, I was working in a Starbucks because I've been a bit busy and needed to film outside of the apartment, so yes, that's what I was doing there. And then at the end of the video, it's slightly better, but it's obviously the camera angle's not great. I was just trying to get some different shots with my close-up macro lens and things like that, so just a bit of a play around. My next video hopefully will be a bit better. Yes, so onto the actual art. I enjoyed this piece to a point. Like I said at the start, the dip fountain pen sort of thing is not the most expensive, and I will admit it was very difficult to use. A few of the nibs were too loose in the holder when you put them in, so I couldn't use them. And then the only one that fit really securely and felt good didn't have a little well on the actual nib, so it wasn't holding ink very well, so I couldn't use it for very long periods of time, and therefore I had to keep my little drawing ink pot open, and so a lot of the ink was getting a bit coagulating on the nib, which wasn't too great, but yeah, I got through that. Not the end of the world. Yeah, onto the actual drawing though. There were a few parts where I wish I hadn't done that and I'd done something else. For example, a few of the trees. The only tree I like is actually the tree above the parsonage on the left there. Oh, I must obviously mention that this is actually the Bronte Parsonage Museum in Haworth, so this is what it actually looks like. Yeah, the tree above the parsonage is the only one I actually really like. I like the aesthetics of it. I love the fact that you can see the branches, but there's also greenery around it, and you can tell that some of the other trees that I was either having issues with the ink, too much ink coming out at once, or not enough ink, and so it was doing kind of like a dry brush look to the trees. So there are a few parts there which I really didn't enjoy, but it's okay. I enjoyed the process anyway. It was different, and I don't really usually do buildings, so another thing I'd like to mention is the book I'm doing is actually a handmade book. Recently my mum and I went to do a workshop on making books. Now I've made books before, but this was just a different technique, which is always nice to learn different techniques for bookbinding. I'll promote it. It's Rosedale? I don't know. It's in Lothersdale, and she does different workshops that you can pay for £15. So this one was the handmade book, and I actually came home and then made one myself using my own supplies and also mixed media paper inside, because I'm hoping to turn this little book into kind of like a mixed media kind of sketchbook where each page has a different media to the page next to it, so it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag there. Yeah, not really much else to say about this since it's just an ink drawing, but yeah, I think it went quite well. Certain aspects aren't very clear, like the bit I'm working on just here is actually the roof of the building very, very close up. Yeah, and there are a few bits I added in, like this tree I'm working on now. At first it doesn't look great, and then in the end it looks a little bit better. But again, there was a lot more detail I could have added, but I didn't want to just overcrowd the picture. So this tree here, this is me doing my macro close-up, so as you can see the quality is a little bit better, and you can also see a bit closer up. This tree started off really nicely, and then suddenly I hated it, and yeah, it didn't go too well at the end, but they're all different types of trees, and in real life when you were there are many, many different trees around it, so I was just trying to kind of show that in a way. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else, so thank you very much for watching, and I hope you like this type of video as a bit of a backstory. Let me know in the comments if you do. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.